In a scene change, we see what happened before with Natalia, who went directly to the room where Rio and the others reside. As soon as she arrives, she asks the boys where Rio is, to which they reply that he is in the north wing of the library. And since Natalia doesn't know where that is, she has them show her the location. On the way, she meets Rio and tells him Abel and his group got lost in the dungeon. Rio understands it's an emergency, so he creates an ice cart to transport her to the dungeon at enormous speed. When she arrives, she lays out every detail. Once he gets it, Rio asks why she sought him out specifically, to which she replies that it was because of Abel, as he had told her that if she needed help and couldn't find him, she should look for Rio. After hearing her, he decides to enter the dungeon without further ado, and even though the guards refuse to let him pass, he just creates 2 ice walls that clear the way to the dungeon entrance. He recalls Abel and the others are on floor 40, and he can't waste time going down step by step, so he fires Precipice Jet X6, blasting water to punch a hole beneath him and drop. Returning to the moment where he provokes the Demon Prince, it can't take it anymore and lunges to attack him at great speed. Rio observes that it's quite slow, so he easily counterattacks by reaching it first, precisely cutting off its head. As expected, Abel wonders what just happened, but Rio notices the Demon Prince picking up its head to put it back on, which he finds annoying. Despite this, he mentions that despite its resilience, he believes a Dark Lord must be much stronger, especially when a Demon Prince like him is so weak. He figures it can't even understand, so he tests how much more it can regenerate. Yeah, he toyed with a Demon Lord too. Right after, he uses Precipice Jet X256 magic, creating a huge number of pressurized water cannons in the air, which fire at the Demon Prince at the same time. Such is the power that it shatters the enemy's body, and by not leaving even an opening, it shatters its magic stone, and we can see that seconds later its body turns to ash because of it. Abel thanks him for saving them, and modestly, Rio says it was nothing, but he could thank him by treating him to a meal. Abel agrees to treat him to meals for a whole week, but gets distracted when Rigi clings to his arm, so relieved that he is still alive. And for that very reason, Abel's group apologizes for worrying her. Then the old man approaches. His name is Arthur Verazos, and he introduces himself to Rio. He says he's advisor to the Royal Mages Department and the court's representative here. What he does is thank him for the help, noting that they have suffered some casualties despite being saved. That's why he mentions that when the mages recover their mana, they will take the remains of the fallen. Here, Abel asks Rio to collect the magic stones from the demons, with the idea of distributing the profits among the families of those who died in combat. Rio agrees easily, but hearing demons, he asks if those enemies truly were, in fact, of that race. Abel confirms this is the case, that they almost died and had never encountered them before, as they hadn't appeared in the central provinces for hundreds of years. Hearing it, Rio recalls Leonor called herself an Akuma, and asks what sets an Akuma from a demon. Abel notices he's quiet and asks why. Rio says that coming down from level 39, he felt like he suddenly hit some barrier. Although he no longer feels it, Abel figures that's because he beat the Demon Prince. Rio agrees, saying it's normal a safe exit appears after you defeat a dungeon boss. Then he says he noticed something odd using his wave on level 39, near the stairs, so he wants to check it when he comes back later. This is because he sees it's possibly related to what happened. Shortly after, Abel shows them a black magic stone. Seeing this, Arthur tells them that as an adventurer he met a demon in the western provinces. Couldn't kill it, so it's his first time seeing a demon's magic stone. Rigi mentions that the temples in the central provinces have no records of their stones. Then Arthur adds that it is said demons appear suddenly and randomly, and for that reason, it was thought they could use space-time magic, which catches Rio's attention. Suddenly we are with adventurers at an altar, all visited by a truly special being there. It's Leonor herself, appearing through a portal. She mentions she came to take a look because she felt something strange, but what she finds is a human altar. The leader of this group refers to her as the Dark Lord, clarifying that her life will come to an end. After that, another one of them explains that this altar cost many sacrifices, and it is well known that setting it on fire makes the Lord of the Demons appear. After hearing them, Leonor asks who they are, daring to summon the Demon Lord. The leader announces himself as Roman, the hero, whose duty it is to kill the Lord of the Demons. This easily piques Leonor's interest, so she encourages them to have a battle right then and there, all out of a desire to face someone strong. But when they exchange blows, she is able to drive her sword into Roman's body with utmost ease, and that makes her feel a great disappointment. The next thing she does is get behind one of them, something they can't even perceive, and warns them that if they attack, she plans to counterattack, and that is why she advises them to save that useless hero. Heeding her suggestion, they all go to check on Roman. So Leonor takes the liberty of taking the sacred gem they used in the ritual. When Roman again refers to her as the Dark Lord, she clarifies that she is not the leader of the demons, something they consider impossible due to how powerful she is. Leonor mentions that she doesn't know what to say about it, but believes that even by working as a team they could defeat the leader of the demons, implying the power difference between her and that leader. In addition to that, she lets them know there are humans with strength on her level, muttering about the human she met named Rio. She still considers the fight they had to be very fun. Later she reiterates she isn't the demon's leader, she's Leonor, so no one doubts it. She urges the hero to grow stronger, strongest of all humans. At least, heroes don't appear every day. Roman can't believe a human beats him. She spells out that this human is 10,000 times stronger, so there's still a long road ahead. Seconds later, they leave through the arrival portal, which vanishes again, without a trace in seconds, returning to the expedition group. After advancing for a while, Abel spots the adventurers from Loon in the distance. Arthur assumes they were hired by Clip, as he wanted to secure the route to level 11. Upon hearing that, Abel assumes the teleportation only affected levels 10 and 11. Arriving at the stairs, Rio shows them what he believes was the anomaly he detected with his probe. Arthur is unfamiliar with the object, but according to the readings from the magic tools, it seems it was emanating mana until recently. With no other option, he carries it in a barrier bag. Mana can't enter or leave, and it's their only clue left. As they go up the stairs, Abel thanks Rio again for saving all of them. Noting he's grateful, Rio asks for pay. Just tell him, please, where to get a good curry in Loon Town tonight. Abel promises to do it without a problem, and Rio tells him that if he lies about it, he will cut him to pieces like that demon, because curry is no joke. So Abel begs him not to joke about it, but Rio says, keep your promise. That's it. It's easy. Nothing else at all. Do that and you stay alive. After they exit the dungeon, Natalie greets them happily, and Abel thanks her, thinking she warned Rio earlier. Meanwhile, Yu's relieved Abel is back. He never thought they'd get out alive at all today. Not after that mess. When he spots Rio with them, he scolds him for ignoring the guards again, but Arthur cuts in, saying they're alive only because of him. Yu is baffled, and Arthur offers to explain the details somewhere else, away from here. Still not understanding anything, Yu thanks Rio for saving them. He then retreats to the tent with Arthur. As soon as he enters, he tells him that there were about 15 demons and that they were accompanied by a demon prince. Yu thinks surviving with Abel there was normal, but Arthur says the demon prince nearly killed him. Only Rio stopped it just in time. For that very reason, he asks who that boy is, but Hugh replies that he knows nothing about it, as he only knows that Rio helped Abel cross the Malefic Mountains. Arthur laughs because he's Abel's friend and also someone who can even kill a demon prince alone. As this leaves Hugh confused again, he explains that Rio finished off the being and its entourage as if it were nothing. And according to Abel, Rio's case is unprecedented. Besides that, he thinks nothing matters more right now than the nation thanking this mage. But if those idiot nobles tie themselves to Rio, it all goes to hell. That's why he wants no official record of what happened. Hugh agrees without complaint. He even tells them that he won't mention his name in the reports. After all, Loon doesn't want to make an enemy of him either. The next day, Rio has Nils and the boys exercise by jogging a long distance, causing the three of them to be really exhausted compared to his great stamina. When Rio reaches a part of the city, he feels a bit restless because of how short yesterday's fight was. At that moment, he smells a familiar scent, and upon entering the tavern up ahead, he ends up finding Sarah. She greets him warmly, surprised he knows the place, but he says he doesn't. He just followed the curry smell and walked in on impulse. Curious and hungry. Hearing it, Sarah says this spot serves Loon's best curry, just as she promised. Right here. Once seated, the owner takes both orders, 2 curries. While they wait, Sarah asks him where he lives, to which Rio replies that he's currently at the guild's residence. Sarah is a little surprised. It's the newbie's dorm, and that stands out, since if he already reached the library's north wing, he must be at least D level. Rio tells her that's the rank they gave him when he registered, and she already sees that as something impressive, although she acknowledges it makes sense given how strong he seems. After curry, they leave, and Rio says, though she's an adventurer, he's never seen her there before around. Sarah says she worked away until recently, and a long-term contract keeps her from coming around often. The contract consists of her being a fencing instructor for the Count of Loon's Knights, boasting that she's stronger than he might think. Because she gets closer than usual, Rio looks away without commenting on it. Then she asks if he has any plans for now, as she wants them to train together. Accepting her invitation, the two of them head to a training arena to begin the duel, both holding real swords to fight with. Before starting, she tells him that when he entered the establishment, she could tell he was frustrated, and it was as if he hadn't been able to let it all out in his last fight. After hearing that, Rio asks her how she knew he fights with a sword, to which she replies that his stance gave it away. So she thinks he fights with magic and sword too. No more stalling. Sarah opens, charging in with a thrust, straight at him. Fast. Doing so, Rio dodges her strike, counters with crushing pressure, yet she can dodge it too. This repeats a second time, making the great strength and skill Rio exerts in his slashes noticeable. This makes Sarah pause to tell him that he's very good, and despite how fast she is, he was able to evade her, something none of the knights could do. But now she knows. She warns him. This time she really means it. Then she closes in instantly, striking Rio in a rapid barrage. He quickly boosts his speed, blocking each blow as best he barely can. The next thing that happens is the blade of Rio's sword goes flying through the air, and when Sarah places her blade at his neck, he simply surrenders. Seconds later, she rushes in, hugs him tight, says he's amazing again, then pulls back, realizing what. Back to the point. She says he kept up with her still while wearing wind robes. Rio figures that's how she reached that speed with wind magic, something he can't do at all himself ever. Still, Sarah calls his defense impenetrable, so she asks how he pulls it off exactly. Rio tells her that he uses what his mentor taught him, who is the same one who gave him the outfit he's wearing. Sarah quickly realizes the Fairy King taught him to fight, and she could have guessed it sooner by instinct from the very start. Elves are basically half fairies. Also, the Fairy King is nearly legend now. Before they go on, a woman tells her it's time for Master Alfonso's class. Sarah tells Rio she's leaving to train the Count's grandson. She introduces him to Rolita, saying Rio is a valued adventurer, so she wants her to escort him and see he gets home. Rolita is stunned by it. Nervously, she leads Rio down the path, still replaying Sarah's words that she truly cares for him deeply. On the road, Rio meets Hugh. He wants to discuss yesterday, so Rio gets into his carriage for privacy. He clarifies that he found out everything from Arthur, so he shouldn't worry about anything. Having said that, he points out that he cannot ignore a knight who forbids him from entering a dungeon. So, as punishment, he'll make him take a job today. He knows he's refused all work outside the dungeon since arriving, so the penalty is doing one of those jobs for him. Rio agrees. It's a very mild penalty for his mistake. Yu says he must travel to meet some merchants, then return once the deal is done. His destination is Whitnash.